بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. So today's maxim, jurisprudential maxim, is قاعدة الفراش, the bed. What does the bed mean? Can anyone give me a clue? What about the bed?
You are the expert.
Is it a queen bed, standard bed, king bed? No clue? Why they call it bed, the bed, al-firash? What happens on firash?
Rest or?
For rest? So it has to do with rest. What do you think?
Of course, it's the relation.
Relationship. Marriage. Yes. This is a nickname for marriage, a reference for marriage. It's a metaphor for marriage. What about marriage? This is specifically about if a child is born and then we have a dispute over this child, over the biological father of this child. Who is his biological father? The child is born into a marriage. A woman who is married to a man. She delivers a baby. And then we have shak, doubt. Sometimes we have yaqeen, certainty. So yaqeen, we know that this baby belongs to that person, that man. But sometimes we have doubt. Is this child, because let's say because of a different complexion he has, because of different color he has from his dad, from his biological parents. Okay? Maybe the parents, the parents are, let's say Chinese and the child is black. So we start doubting. Or other colors, let's say. For some reason we have doubt, shak, that this child does not belong to this father. What is the ruling on this case? What do you think we should say? According to this maxim here on the board, the maxim of the bed, al-firash.
Does it have anything to do with the relation? If they've had relation, obviously there's a higher...
Who had relation? The mother? They are married.
Yeah.
The parents are married.
Right.
And they deliver a baby. The wife delivers a baby that he doesn't look like his father.
Well, these days
his color, his complexion, his whatever, doesn't look like his father.
These days DNA.
Exactly. These days DNA. DNA, it has positive results. So DNA could be used as bayina, a witness. But in case there is no DNA, or let's say they refuse, both of them. For some reasons, they don't believe in science. They refused. They refused to go for DNA test. So what do you do in this case?
You swear Yamin?
In this case, if we have doubt, then this is the maxim. The maxim depends on a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The madrak, the evidence for this maxim, is the tradition of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who said, "Al-waladu lil-firash." The child belongs to marriage, to the marriage. Firash here, it's a metaphor for the marriage. So it belongs to the father who is the husband of that wife. A father, it belongs to the man who is the husband of that mother who delivered the baby. So if she's married to Fulan, then the father of that child is Fulan. Okay? We consider automatically that this child is fathered by the husband of the family. unless otherwise, unless we have bayina. Bayina, it could be a witness. The bayina, it could be DNA. The bayina, it could be someone else comes and confesses, or the mother confesses that this baby, this is not his father. His father is someone else. Alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah. Then, in that case, my friend, in that case, then this maxim does not work in that case. In the case of bayina. Or in the case of certainty. We are certain that this is not the father. The father was, away serving on a naval ship for 6 years. He hasn't seen his mother. Unless you believe in the verdict of Abu Hanifa, who believes that the semen could travel. The wind takes the semen from India to Africa. So the mother is in Africa, the father is in India, and somehow he's asleep and then he discharges semen. Yeah, this is not a joke.
This is a hadith?
It's a verdict, not hadith. Based on
It was airborne, sort of.
airborne, and it could travel and then somehow goes into that wife and hit the target.
What kind of nonsense is that?
This is
Well,
this
today
is
you have,
yeah.
what, the internet? No,
Over.
Uber Eat.
you have in vitro, right? You can
Uber immigrate. What they call it?
Impregnation.
Huh? Impregnation. You can send it with Uber. Okay. So firash is a metaphor for the legitimate marriage between a husband and wife. So if we have a doubt about this newly born baby, then automatically, if we have doubt, automatically we ascribe the child to the bed, to the marriage, to that father. Because we know his mother, but we don't know his father. So we say, unless otherwise, unless, as he said, there is bayin, evidence, DNA test, it says no, this is not his father, doesn't match. Or witnesses, or someone does iddi'a, another person comes and says, hey, this is my child, then that's a different issue. So the maxim of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, an Rasulullah, Imam al-Sadiq says, an Rasulullah, an Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam, al-waladu, waladu, the newborn baby. Al-waladu, it could be walad, it could be boy or girl. Walad means a child. Lil firash, to the marriage, belongs to the marriage. Belongs to the father of the family. Walil ahir, then if we find out that she had an affair, definitely she had an affair, still we consider the child belongs to that father, the husband, her legitimate husband. So al-waladu lil-firash, walil-ahir, al-ahir is the fornicator. Al-ahir means fornicator.
The male or the female?
No, the male. Al-hajar, walil-ahir al-hajar. It could be male, it could be female. Both. Al-hajar, what is al-hajar? The stone. Stoning. Punishment. Okay? So this one, al-ahir, it could be the male or the female, the mother. But still, if we don't have concrete evidence, if we have doubt, still we consider the child is the husband's child, the legitimate husband of that woman, of that mother. Unless it can't be. Such as what? Such as they've been married for 5 months. And definitely for 5 months, a mother cannot deliver a safe baby. Yes, minimum pregnancy is what?
6 months.
6 months, minimum pregnancy. But 5 months, it can't be him unless they had a relationship before marriage. Unless they had a relationship before marriage, before they did their nikah. But if he says, no, I haven't seen her, because in the past there was no dating. They see each other on the night of nikah, night of wedding. So if he says, I haven't seen her, I haven't touched her before the night of wedding, then it means that the baby belongs to someone else. So this one does not work. In that case, it doesn't work. Because now we have a tangible evidence that pregnancy cannot, delivery of the baby cannot be for 5 months. It can be minimum for 6 months, but not 5 months. Or in case of DNA nowadays. They didn't have DNA in the past. There's something funny that some fuqaha say that does not stand for scientific test. They say she might be married, she's a divorcee, married to someone else, she's remarried, so there is the residue of the semen of the first husband still inside her. For how long it lasts, that one? Because if you study about the semens, they die. After a few hours, they die. Not even a few hours. They don't last a few hours, few minutes. They all die. So it cannot stay there for months. The residue of someone who was with her ex-husband. This does not, when we do the test, yeah, they didn't know about pregnancy in the past. But now that we know, these semens, these creatures do not last for more than 2 hours. Maximum 2 hours, if not even much less than that. 30 minutes. They die. So this is the قاعدة. الولد للفراش وللعاهر الحجر. Okay. So we said if we have bayina means a witness. Bayina, or sometimes they call it amara, indication. Then, my friends, look at this. The bayina or the amara is going to overrule this maxim, overrides this maxim. This maxim does not work because now we have evidence. This maxim in case of what? Shak, doubt. But if we have bayina that says otherwise, then this one, the bayina, the whatever, the maxim does not work. Okay? And then of course, there is another صحيحة عن أبي عبد الله from Imam الصادق. سألته عن رجلين استغفر الله. 2 men, they had an affair with a woman. Within 1 طهر, she was clean between 2 periods. So she slept with 2 men, and then she was pregnant. Where does this child belong to? Because she had an affair with 2 men. And she's married.
The third one.
No, she's married. She's married,
Married
yes.
to one of them and having an affair with another.
Yes. So the Imam says, لِلَّذِي عِنْدَهُ. The baby belongs to the husband, her husband, where she's living with him. She's a wife of a husband, okay? So we annex the baby to that man.
Sorry, Maulana. If we have bayina, the baby goes to whom?
I would tell you now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, let's say this is a good question. We have in chapter 24, 7, Surah An-Nur. Surah An-Nur. If a husband comes and says, my wife has an affair or had an affair. Sometimes husband and wife, they fight. I've seen it even at this time when they come. one of them accuses the other, or both accuse each other of having affairs. When there is a grudge, animosity, they can say anything. Expect to hear anything from them, even an accusation of murder, which is false, because they want to destroy each other. So, a husband comes, because when the ayah of zina came in this chapter, Surah An-Nur, الزانية والزاني فاجلدوا كل واحد منهما مئة جلدة. If they are single, not married, and they are proven that they are fornicators, each one of them deserves 80 lashes. Someone came to the... and if someone accuses a woman of having an affair and he doesn't have witnesses, he cannot come up with 4 witnesses, then what will happen to that guy? This is called what? In fiqh, what do we call this act? قذف. قذف. Slander. He's slandering her, accusing her. And he could not come up with 4 witnesses. So what do we do to this guy who's doing qadh? Whether this is her husband or a stranger. Stranger saying that this lady had an affair, she did zina. And if he do not come up with 4 just witnesses, adil, what do we do to this guy?
Slash him. You give him lashes.
He will be punished. How do you accuse her without? So someone came to the Prophet, said, Ya Rasulullah, if I go to my house and I see my wife having an affair, and by the time I go and call, oh, people come witness, he's gone. Should I keep this in my heart and don't say anything? How can I bear this? I can't bear this. I can't even live with this wife. The ayah came that if someone accuses his wife of having an affair and he does not have 4 witnesses, so what do we do in this case? Do we also call it qadh because you don't have witnesses? He said, I saw her and I don't have witnesses. There's no solution to this. I should shut my mouth. He was telling the Prophet, I should shut my mouth and say nothing, and then beside that I have to bear the lashes and the punishment. So the ayah came, said no. In that case, when you don't have witnesses, then you go to the court. In the court, you testify 4 times that I am telling the truth. This is the ayah.
It's 24/7, say it?
Yes, yes. This is the ayah. 24/7. This is, you don't forget, 24/7. Yeah, so you don't forget this number. He says, in fact, 24/6, sorry. 24/6. وَالَّذِينَ يَرْمُونَ أَزْوَاجَهُمْ. Those who accuse their wives. Yarmi means accusation. يَرْمُونَ أَزْوَاجَهُمْ. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ, Dr. Ali, وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُمْ شُهَدَاء. They cannot come up with 4 witnesses. إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُمْ. They are the only one who witnessed. There are no witnesses. فَشَهَادَةُ أَحَدِهِمْ. They come up to the court. أَرْبَعُ شَهَادَاتٍ بِاللَّهِ إِنَّهُ لَمِنَ الصَّادِقِينَ. 4 times he comes to the court, stands before the judge, and 4 times repeats the same sentence, that I am saying the truth about these accusations. I am saying the truth. I am saying the truth. I am saying the truth. Each time, each statement is equal to what? One witness, one just witness. Then there is one more statement he should say. وَالْخَامِسَ, the 5th statement. خامسة means the 5th statement. اللعنة الله عليه إن كان من الكاذبين. May God curse me if I am telling lies. So 4 times he says, I am speaking the truth. Number 5, he would add one more sentence, that may the curse of God, اللعنة الله عليه إن كان من الكاذبين. If he speaks lies. La'na, curse. What is the meaning of la'na? being excluded, الطرد من رحمة الله, being excluded from God's mercy. Now, if the wife confesses, she says yes, she's telling the truth, then she's indicted. But if the wife also rejects what he's saying, how should she reject? Because she also needs what? Witnesses to exonerate her, to say no, she didn't do anything. وَيَدْرَأُ عَنْهَا الْعَذَابِ, it will prevent punishment from her, the punishment, the penal code from her, أن تشهد, that she must testify 4 times, أربع شهادات بالله إنه لمن الكاذبين. 4 times she says that my husband or this man, Fulan, is telling lies. And again she repeats the sentence how many times? 4 times. And then she adds one more sentence. What is that one more sentence?
On her.
Not la'na, this time ghadab. And what is the difference between them? He says la'na, himself he says la'na in the 5th time, the husband. But the wife says, أن غضب الله عليها, أن غضب الله عليها إن كان من الصادقين. If my husband is telling the truth in his allegation, then may the wrath of God descend upon me. What is the difference between la'na and ghadab? Curse and anger.
Anger is worse, it seems.
How?
Well, you said curse, it would be, and basically God would come outside
Excluded,
of his mercy,
yeah.
His mercy.
Mm-hmm.
But ghadab, anger, that's like God punishing you.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly, because ghadab is wrath. Not only he will exclude from mercy, he will add to that punishment something else. He will send his anger, his severe punishment on that person. Why his testimony is lighter than her? He says, if I am telling that lies, look at me please, don't read anything, don't write. He says, if I am telling you lies, may the curse of God be upon me. The wife says, if I am telling lies, the wrath of God be upon me. Why he's lighter than her?
She's the one being accused of the action,
Mhm.
that action. So
So she has to defend herself in a stronger way.
Right.
In a stronger way. Because she's a defendant. And when you are a defendant, someone is suing you, you have to bring more evidence to protect yourself. She needs more evidence against his accusation. This is why ghadab is worse than la'na. Are you with me? To defend herself and exonerate herself from this crime. So this is in case of both of them disagree, both of them conflicting each other. He's accusing her, she's defending herself. This is the way. Then what happens? This process is called what? What do we call it in fiqh, this process? What do we call it? We will come to fiqh and study this. This is called li'an. 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 Meaning that they are asking for Allah's la'na if they are telling lies. And a result of this process of li'an in the court, what will happen to the husband and wife? What will happen to the husband and wife?
Divorce.
There is no divorce. Marriage terminates with no divorce.
Yes, sir.
The annulment of the marriage. This is number one. Number one, the annulment without divorce. Because this is one of the cases that husband and wife are separated from each other. Their marriage terminates without talaq, without divorce. li'an. This is one. What is the second consequences? They cannot go back to each other permanently. Once they do li'an, divorce, they can go back to each other. Even if she marries someone else and divorces that person, the husband cannot marry her permanently.
So, which process, what point of the process does that occur? Yeah, I mean, if they both, he says the fifth and she says the fifth?
Yes.
Both say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then they are going to be alienated from each other. The marriage terminates. She becomes haram on him permanently. Permanently. What else? What is the third consequences?
Any children or
If there is a child born, then the child belongs to this, the bed, the firash. If, let's say, the husband says, and then she becomes pregnant. But how do we know that the pregnancy? Maybe he's accusing her. The pregnancy is not an evidence that she did something wrong. It could be himself. So in that case, when the baby is delivered, the baby belongs to the father, to the husband in the family. Though he divorces his wife is no longer, there is no longer marriage between them, but he belongs to the ex-marriage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they were married together.
So who gets like custody of the child? The husband that gets the custody?
The father, of course. Custody in Islam always for the father, unfortunately, whether he's good or bad. Children, the boy at the age of 2 go to his father. The daughter at the age of 7 goes to her father, which is not good. We have to change this. Sometimes the father is not fit. Mentally is not fit. Morally is not fit. He's not taking care of his children.
But this is probably assuming that he's fit, though, right?
Assuming he's fit, of course, yeah. But still, at this age, children need their parents. You cannot take a baby who's 2 years old from his mother. I've seen cases, the baby never sees his mother at all. There is no joint custody. The custody is a sole custody by the father. So the child at the age of 2, he misses his mother. So that one is a bit, these things have to be modified during this time and age. Sometimes the mother in the past, she used to be treated as a surrogate mother. Anytime the husband can divorce her, bring someone else, bring the third, fourth. Now, mothers are mothers. Children, they need their mothers. She's not a surrogate mother anymore. She's a real mother. The baby, the children, they need their mother even when they are teenagers. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين